Hi there, Marcus here. So I wanted to make a video about who I am, just so you can see where I'm coming from and understand how I think and everything. So just to start off, I want to say that I have a degree in nutrition, uh, basically the science of nutrition, from University of Arizona, and also, I am finishing up a degree in mechanical engineering soon. In about 5 months or so, I'll have a degree in mechanical engineering as well. And I have a minor in chemistry already, which is with my nutrition degree. I also have about 4 years of experience in biological research that I worked at the U of A after I graduated with nutrition. So that's my educational background, and I say that just to give you a feel for the type of things I learned in school and whatnot. And but at the same time, I don't want to reinforce a stereotype that that college or school in general is the only way to learn and to get real good information. That's just not true. There's plenty of self-taught people that know much more than traditionally trained individuals, as you have seen in society. So I don't want to perpetuate that stereotype that you need formalized schooling. And just to illustrate that, in my mechanical engineering degree, I've spent about an average of 3 hours a day doing coursework, going to classes and studying on my own and whatnot. About an average of 3 hours a day. In that same time period, while I'm going to school in mechanical engineering, I spent about 6 hours a day on average researching health. So, just as you can see, I've spent much more time in my informal education than I have in my formal education, and I feel I have learned much more about health in this last 4 years than I have in engineering. So that's just to help you understand that just because somebody has a title doesn't necessarily make them more intelligible on a subject than somebody who does not have a title. And also just to give you a feel for who I am, I do like engineering as far as the invention aspect of it, as far as like the kind of the theoretical design and kind of coming up with new designs that are much better than old ones. I'm pretty good at that, but the thing with engineering is that it's all like analysis, and I don't really have a desire to analyze mechanical structures and things like that. It's just not what I'm good at and what I like to do. What I like to do is just kind of new thinking, new designing, kind of using either principles from biology or just new principles that haven't been applied yet in the engineering field to really greatly increase efficiency or power or whatnot. But that type of engineer just isn't wanted today in the marketplace. All they want is analysis-based engineers, people who can crunch numbers and use sophisticated programs and like mathematical modeling and stuff like that. So it's not my thing. I was kind of duped in engineering because I like traditional engineering, type of engineering that was done in the Renaissance and things like that. But that type of innovation just is kind of frowned upon in the marketplace now. People like me, if they want to continue on in engineering, they'll typically start their own companies because existing companies aren't open to their ideas and new ways of thinking. So I have that, and I do plan on starting up a new car company using new technologies that I develop. That basically every aspect of the car will be groundbreaking. And if you think about it, the car's been basically the same for 100 years. I mean, just innovation. You would think innovation is a leading driver in technology, but as far as in mechanical technology, they just don't. They just typically frown on innovation. They'd rather keep things the same and kind of just tweak them with analysis and things like that, and just, and it's always shooting for the lowest cost solution, not the best solution. So it's not a good place for me to be right now. And as far as in medicine, I mean, I'm starting to realize that being a doctor is really being a human biology engineer. To be a doctor, you have to totally understand the body, the full body of the human being, and know how all of those different parts interact with each other. Not necessarily know super in depth all of the minute pathways in skin, for example. Maybe a dermatologist should probably know that, but a general physician shouldn't necessarily know that. But they should know basically the takeaway message from all of these intricate fields of science in the body, and basically be able to put a picture together in their mind of how exactly the body is working together, and have a really good functional understanding of how the body works and all the different pathways that interact, and the different parts of the body that interact. So to be a doctor, you really do have to be a biological engineer, and I feel that my two fields of study in higher education of mechanical engineering and nutrition really come together well, as far as knowing how to engineer the body, and to be able to look at the body from an engineering perspective and understand how it functions, and how to either keep proper functioning or to restore proper function. So I feel that my background in these areas really helps me to understand the body and to be a good doctor, as it were. And you might be asking, well, why don't you go to med school and become a doctor? Well, first of all, I don't feel comfortable going $200,000 in debt. Honestly, it's a bad move in my mind, especially in today's economy, where debt collectors are getting more and more ruthless, and debtor's prison is becoming more and more of a reality, even in our country. And especially with student loans, I mean, the government basically has you as a slave. If you take out student loans, there's no way to go bankrupt and get rid of that. Literally, the government will garnish your wages or whatnot, for as long as you live until you pay it back. So let's say, something happens like deflation, God forbid deflation happened, then that $200,000 debt would be literally unpayable, even if you were a very successful doctor. So it's not a good risk, in my opinion. And I may save up money and try to go to med school, and the fact is that you don't really need med school to be a doctor. I mean, while the things they teach are beneficial, most of the people who go through med school are going to forget all of that rote memorization type information anyway, and it doesn't really help. I mean, it doesn't help you become a good doctor to memorize the names of all the drugs and whatnot. What really is required of a doctor is to understand the body, like I said, and the American Medical Association cannot guarantee that its graduates understand the body on a basic fundamental level. It's just not possible. Just as the same as an engineer, an engineering program can't guarantee that a person graduating really fundamentally understands engineering, or if they just can crunch numbers well. It doesn't correlate necessarily. So that's me, and that's where I'm coming from. So any advice that I give you, and my philosophy on giving advice is this. Basically, the foundation of what I teach is think for yourself, okay? Like, I am completely against the whole medical philosophy of we are the experts, listen to us, what we say is gospel, and everybody else doesn't know what they're talking about. I completely reject that philosophy. And what I believe is that, think for yourself. You have a brain for a reason. You are the commander of your health. You are the initiator of your health, and you're responsible for your own body. Nobody else is responsible for your body. You're responsible for your body. You need to use your conscience as a guide to be able to take care of your body properly. And if somebody tells you doesn't really jive with what you think, look into it, research it. That's your prerogative. That's your requirement, as a human being, is that you take what people say for what it's worth. And you can trust people, that's good. But if something just seems off to you, then research it. Make sure that it makes sense to you, and that you verify it. And that's the same with anybody. Modern medicine kills more people than any other form of intervention in the body. So be careful with modern medicine. Most doctors don't know much more about a prescription drug than what the drug companies tell them. So if you want the companies that create these drugs telling you how to use their medicine, then go to modern medicine, because that is what they do best. So that's my philosophy. It's your body, it's your responsibility. I mean, that's a good little catchphrase that you can live by. Your body, your responsibility. So take as much information, as many people's opinions as you can, and come to a decision on your own on exactly how to care for your body. If you have a diagnosis, get second opinions until you're for sure that that makes sense to you, that you understand that. And if somebody proposes a treatment, research it. See other people that have used that treatment, how it turned out. See if you can make sense of the biology behind the treatment. Get as many opinions as you can. That's my advice to you. And in the counsel of many is victory. The more opinions you have, the better that you're going to do. And the more perspectives on an issue that you have, the better you're going to do. So that's my encouragement to you, and I'll leave you with that. Thanks. Marcus signing off.